Broncos country. What is going on? Day 7 winners. We're going to go through all the guys who are continuing to ball out. Brandin Cooks, he's actually on the roster, even though we didn't sign him. Yeah, we got a much younger version of him in Troy Franklin. So we're going to talk a little bit about him, go over some of the other winners of training camp today. Excuse me 1 second. That's Sprite. Be sure to smash that like, subscribe, jump in the comments. We're going to have a lot of fun. David Talks Broncos back tonight. We got David Talks Broncos on the mic. Last night, we heard from Mario Vitanzi. We even had him hyping up A.T. Perry. We're going to start with him, okay? Final thoughts on Broncos camp today. He got in trouble for filming. Par for the course. The defense is otherworldly. So good everywhere. No weaknesses. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. We'll get down to all these things later. Zach Allen looked good. Cooper Benino looked good. Bo Nix threw an absolutely perfect fade to Pat Bryant on one-on-ones. 40-yard pass, and it was a dime. That's great to see. RJ Harvey had another good day. That's awesome to see. Oh, I thought he mentioned Troy Franklin in here. I guess I got the wrong thing bookmarked. So we're going to deal with it. We'll pull this up, and then we'll run with it. Sorry, guys. This is what I get for doing this live. Okay, here we go. Zach Stevens. First throw of team period. Bo Nix roll out to the right. Rips it in tight coverage to Troy Franklin. Troy rips the ball away from the defender and hauls it in. But by the time he got possession, likely out of bounds. I don't care about that. Impressive play by Troy Franklin, nonetheless. And if you haven't checked out Altitude Adjustment on Let's Talk Broncos, go check it out because it's been a great time at the end talking about, well, A.T. Perry, but more importantly, Troy Franklin. And Zach Seeger said in the chat last night, nah, he's not Kenny Stills like I've been saying. He's Brandin Cooks. The upside is higher, Dave. They all agree with that. So right now, every single day, the more and more Troy Franklin continues to stack day after day, hey, the higher and higher, the more hype I'm getting about Troy Franklin. He's now tracking the ball. He's now making contested catches. That's what you want to see. He's fighting for tough catches. Something has changed with him. Is it the departure of John Morton to where now he's just fully comfortable to work with Bo, Sean, Kerry Colbert, and the whole team? I don't know. But I love to see that Troy Franklin did this. Now, Troy Franklin just had an incredible one-on-one series. Troy, an amazing touchdown grab over Jahdae Barron per Chris Thomason in tight coverage. Then had a diving contested catch over the middle of the field. Really, really impressive. So showing that he can go and make tough plays over the middle of the field. He'll lay out. How about, bringing us flashbacks of Emmanuel Sanders, who was at practice, right? He would be laying out over the middle of the field all the time, man. He didn't care to get if he was going to get hit. Emmanuel Sanders was one of those like 5'10", 5'11" guys, dude. 180 pounds, whatever. But he was, he was tough as nails. One of the toughest receivers. One of my favorite receivers in my adulthood as a Broncos fan. But love to see this from Troy Franklin. It's got me feeling so good, so happy. Now, let's continue on with some of these tweets. Ryan Edwards, this is awesome to see. The speedbacks had the most success with RJ Harvey making a nice cut to get to the second level, followed by Jaleel McLaughlin knifing through for a huge gain on the right side. And then Blake Watson's showing some great vision and physicality and burst to the left side. Great moment early with DJ Jones tackling J.K. Dobbins by the legs and got so fired up by it that he chucked his helmet into the ground and screamed at the defense behind the play. Dude, J.K. Dobbins, I feel like he's going to be a tone setter with the attitude. Yeah. Or DJ Jones, rather. What am I saying? He's going to be a tone setter with this defensive line in the run game. That's what you want to see. So I think it's phenomenal, man. Let's continue on. Let's see here. Anthony Rodriguez basically saying Jeremy Crawshaw is absolutely booming it still. He had one today that had a 5.3 hang time this week. He's been closer to 5, not the mid 4s in terms of hang time. So really, really solid stuff. All pro in the making. Lavelle Bailey continues to be a monster. He filled the hole and stopped Estime on one run that Andrew Mason was like really fired up about. Then shot over to the outside and brought down Jaleel McLaughlin 2 plays later, making the most of his chance. I mean, he's Al Wilson. He's wearing 56. He's got the speed. He's got the physicality. He's Al Wilson in 2025. That's my other major takeaway. Let's see. Estime steamrolled the defender in the middle of the field during team period, got the offense going. I like to see that Audric got the offense going, him providing a spark for the offense. How about that? Now, who was the defender? I don't know. They're not letting us video much this year. Now, Quentin Newsome running with the 2s alongside Chris Abrams-Drain. Quentin Newsome, undrafted, right? Out of University of Nebraska. And for knowledge. Shout out to Cameron Parker right there. Now, interesting. He did get cooked by Pat Bryant, so we did have to say that. But interesting to see Quentin Newsome is running with the 2s. Now, let's get to some of these highlights here before I get to some of your comments and a few of these other tweets. And we'll talk some more about Brandin Cooks, Marvin Mims, courtesy of Zach C. Hope you guys can see this. Yeah, you got Bo Nix working on some deep throws here to Marvin Mims, who's going to break out, and to Troy Franklin, who's going to break out. Oh, this is to Kyrie's Rowan, formerly known as Kyrie's White. Just throwing some more deep ball tracking from Troy Franklin. That's what we want to see. And all reports is that he's absolutely crushing it on every single team. So, yeah, Malcolm Roach tackled J.K. Dobbins to the ground earlier in 9-on-7s. I think that just might be all I have in terms of highlights I was able to get. So let's continue on with some other tweets. Getting back to Mario Vitanzi, Dondrea Tillman continues to look like a monster. He lost a little bit of weight. I think he's doing an interview that's being released on Thursday, tomorrow, with Andrew Mason. So be on the lookout for that. Again, Bo Nix threw an absolutely perfect fade to Pat Bryant at 1-on-1s, about a 40-yard pass that was a dime. Some of the other guys who caught my eye today, Kareem Reed, Alex Palczewski, DJ Jones, Keydron Smith, and Jaquan McMillan. Keydron Smith fighting on the bubble for one of those last safety spots. Also love the fact that Blake Watson popped today. About time. So that's giving me hope. I'm a big Blake Watson guy, but I've been disappointed thus far until day 7. A few other things on here. This is from Ryan Edwards. Devon Bailey and Q Robinson didn't practice today, dealing with some injuries. 3rd straight day of pads. Lavelle Bailey was everywhere, playing with the 1s and 2s. Multiple big-time tackles and looked great in coverage. Might have a gem there. Correction, we do have a gem there. Ryan Edwards knows it. Blake Watson, Jaleel, and RJ had some really nice moments in 9-on-7. Got small and used their speed to get to the hole. Tough running, but they made the most of it. Jonah Ellis has been outstanding all 3 days with the pads on. Love to hear that. Offense might have had a few more wins today, but the defense continued to be difficult to move against and was chirping loud, like DJ Jones, baby, throwing his helmet. Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonino both had pressures. Cooper almost seems to blow up every run play to his side. It's beautiful. Zach Allen, monster. Jahdae Barron has seen steady improvement every day. Feels like the flash plays are right around the corner. So, yeah, kind of what we were seeing with Bo Nix last year as our first-round pick. Just steady improvement day after day, and then it just kind of clicked about a week in. So keep an eye out to hear about Jahdae Barron over this next week of really starting to excel. So thank you, Ryan Edwards, for putting that out. Here, courtesy of Zach Stevens, we have a slow-mo pass here to Courtland Sutton from Bo Nix. And it's going a little too slow for me, but I'll at least get some highlights in there before Broncos media takes all this down. Also, credential my friend Kodiak Broncos podcast. He's got an iPhone 4S, so you shouldn't have to worry about any video. Other takeaways from Zach Stevens. Defense was too much for the offense again. Front seven stout in run and pass rush. Bo Nix's pass of the practice was a 25-yarder to Trent Sherfield. Courtland Sutton had a nice day, catching passes from every quarterback in team period. Troy Franklin had another impressive practice, including a great touchdown catch over Jahdae Barron. Lavelle Bailey continues to step up, make plays, specifically in the run game. No Q Robinson or Bailey. Lastly, Luka Evans. Again, Lavelle Bailey popping. Audric Estime, Blake Watson popping. This is what everybody is saying across all these credentialed publications. So when you're hearing it from everybody, that's like a really good thing. So, yeah, love to see that. Now, let's go ahead and get to Brandin Cooks, Troy Franklin. What's it going to look like in year 2 for the Broncos? Let's take a look at some Brandin Cooks stats, man. And the way that I look at Troy, kind of like a red shirt year, right? I mean, compared to Brandin Cooks, first-round pick, you're expected to play that first year. But I mean, you saw Brandin Cooks kind of a slow start to his career, 53 receptions for 550 yards. I think Troy Franklin was a little bit under that. Let me go ahead and pull this up just to make sure I'm getting my facts straight here. So Troy Franklin had 263 yards. So, cut it in half about, but you saw the second year. I mean, Brandin Cooks broke out for over 1,100 yards, having 84 receptions for 1,138 yards and 9 touchdowns. I mean, that's just insane. But you see, like, throughout his career, he was 1,000-yard receiver for, like almost 7 straight seasons. Now, it did deal with some injury, but I think you're seeing the potential of Troy Franklin right here, averaging 13.4 yards a reception. Troy Franklin this year was at 9.4, just a yard under Brandin Cooks' 10.4. So is it possible that we could see Troy Franklin get around that 800 to 1,000-yard range? Now I'm starting to wonder if that's a possibility, like truly, with him continuing to just cook everybody every day. We'll see how it looks in preseason, but this is something to take note of, man. He's not a one-dimensional wide receiver. You can get him the ball in the screen game. You can run the slants with him. Now he's showing that he can catch the deep stuff more consistently and make contested catches. He's making diving contested catches over the middle of the field. That's what I love to see. Not only is Marvin Mims' route tree expanding, it seems like Troy Franklin's is as well. Now, with that being said, I'll get to a few of your comments. We have 105 people in here. Thank you so much for your support. This live stream got off to a really rough start, but thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate you guys as always. Now, it is time to hear the chat. Glaze your guys. It's time for that. Man, I love Sprite. I love Sprite so much. Mike, respect my Cobes. What is going on? How are you feeling about Troy Franklin, baby? Is he making you forget about Jerry Jeudy? Is he making – you think that's possible? You think that's possible? Do we got a gem? Respect my Cobes and Troy Franklin? I doubted Troy Franklin, man. I doubted him. I mean, I didn't give up on him, but I didn't think he'd have this kind of camp. Love to see it. Paul Schaefer, no picks for Bo yet. Really? I guess not. I thought that maybe there was a tip pass off Bo, but I'm not here to be a statistic, actually guy. We're gonna take that because Bo Nix is leading us to the AFC West title. Bo Nix odds for MVP are like plus 5,500, plus 7,500 on FanDuel. That's nice. Bet $100, wins 7,500 if he wins MVP. Oh, sweet. Cecil said no picks. So no picks on Bo. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take it. Super Bowl, I love Paris. I love Clinton Portis. That's how I read that. That's what I'm talking about. I kind of love all the Super Bowl hype that we've been getting. I mean, it's fun. Usually we probably have to go through another playoff heartbreak before like we're truly ready, but who knows, man? New York Giants won 2 Super Bowls right as like the 6th seed. Anything can happen, man. Tillman may get Benito traded. Would you take a first rounder for the Casa? Nah. To me, I'm just greedy with edge rushers. Keep them all. Keep them all. We're going to have injuries. We're going to have guys go down. And I would hate to be in a situation like we were in 2013 where it felt like half of our starting lineup on IR by the time the Super Bowl came around for Super Bowl. Was that Super Bowl 48? And our defense was just toast, right? Let's have some depth to where if we have a guy go down, we don't skip a beat. You play to win the game. We're not rebuilding, man. Right now, with Bo Nix, you got the luxury to be able to keep all this depth. So let's take advantage of it at corner, at wide receiver. Well, what am I saying at wide receiver? At edge, at defensive line. We'll see what happens at wide receiver. It's a kind of a cheap unit right now. Championship, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Tim Patrick. I forget who was saying this. Was this on Orange and Blue today? We were talking about Tim Patrick all offseason, said that like when things click with him, he's going to be deadly. And said that he was just so smart. His preparation was great. His work ethic. It's just taken things a while to click with him. So I love hearing that from Tim Patrick. Yeah, man, I'm so pumped. I'm pumped for Ellis, for Tillman, Cooper. We have a special defense. I really do believe that. We'll see if it's as special as 2015. They had a little bit more veteran experience, I think. Excuse me, on that roster. But they're going to be talented, man. They're going to be a top unit. Thank you, Mike. His only interception was in OTAs. Thank you. What's the word on Barron? Every time I hear his name, he got cooked. Well, we went through a tweet earlier where I thought he made some nice plays. But like Luke Evans said that I think it was Luke Evans is saying that he's, getting better consistently. Ryan Edwards said that. Steady improvement every day. Feels like the flash plays are right around the corner. So be on the lookout for flash plays from Jahdae Barron this next week. I'm just mad they traded Judy for pennies. Dude, it made no sense. Usually when a guy walks into your office and says, I would like out, that's the big mistake Sean Payton made, man. And then we didn't even trade. We could have got a second, third round pick, right? Something like that. But hopefully Troy Franklin can make us forget about all this, just like Bo Nix has made us forget about all the quarterback busts we've had over the last 10 years. That's who we need. Now, man, I love me some Courtland Sutton, man. But he isn't exactly, a guy that's going to burn you consistently, even though he did that with McDuffie, right? That's just not his game. Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, these guys develop a real route tree. They're going to be deadly. They're going to be deadly. Jonah Ellis is a budding star. Feel like he's the only guy who can be great versus the pass and run in our edge room. I agree with you. So well-rounded. That was really why I really liked that pick last year. And again, just as productive on less snaps, way more efficient than Jared Verse was. So the potential is through the roof with him. And I think we got the option and ability to keep this edge core around for, the next like 3 years. I think we'll get the deal done with Benito. But yeah, we're talking about having 4 or 5 guys consistently, because I think DeAndre Tillman, man, we should be able to keep him under team control for a little while. Yeah, Judy, man, he's gonna be fine in Cleveland getting passes from Shador, man. That's just what's gonna happen. We were offered a 3rd and 5th at the deadline, and we turned it down, man. We could have had Bucky Irving, man. I think Ellis is going to take Cooper's spot soon. That by the time Ellis is ready for that extension, I think that's kind of how it's set up. I think you're right on the money with that. Respect my co's. That you'll see that. But yeah, like you can't help but be so pleased. I mean, this is probably the funnest training camp in terms of just hearing good news about development since like TikTok's been around. Right? It's like all these young guys. Troy Franklin. And so often throughout Elway's regime, so often, and with these coaches, just the young guys were not developed like this. So, I mean, to get a guy like Troy Franklin in the 4th round, hopefully that can be a Brandin Cooks type player for us, in the words of Zach Seegers, could this be the best draft class ever for the Broncos? Pat Bryant's looking great. RJ Harvey's looking great. We've heard some very positive things about Savion Jones. Check out Orange and Blue today. Andrew Mason, his late night, has spent some time talking about him. Who else we got? Q Robinson has looked insane as well. So yeah, he's like part of our 5-headed pass rush monster that we have. We got an all-pro punter already in Jeremy Crawshaw. We have white LeBron James in Caleb Lohner. What more could you ask for? I mean, what more could you ask for? Now, my friend Marky Sports, he put out a great video talking about how Caleb Lohner needs to play as many snaps as possible throughout the preseason. I agree with that, man. Let's see him on the field for like at least 3 quarters every preseason game. Lavelle Bailey. How could I forget? Lavelle Bailey to the moon. Talk about development of an undrafted guy. Wow. Alex Palczewski, undrafted guy. Looking like the heir apparent to Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. Or he could end up starting for Ben Powers. But that's another hot take conversation. Greenlaw and Hufanga staying healthy through 3 straight padded practices is a great sign. That's what I'm freaking talking about. Dude, we got these injury-prone guys staying healthy right now. I'm knocking on wood right now. That's what I'm talking about, Mike. You got me bricked up. Greenlaw, Hufanga ready. Lavelle Bailey is the next great inside linebacker for the Denver Broncos. Well, Dre Greenlaw is, but you know what I'm saying. Hufanga, he's going to be like our next, like TJ Ward. Since we've kind of had a player like that, TJ Ward was awesome. Jeremy Crawshaw, we finally got our franchise punter. Lavelle Bailey, when you get undrafted gems like this that can fill in and be a starter for you, it's a beautiful thing. What do we do with that extra cap space? If Singleton and Drew Sanders aren't on the roster, we'll just have to see. The late night pod is awesome and hilarious at the same time. The Andrew Mason one, and I love it. Yeah, y'all check out Andrew Mason, man. He's only got 2K subs. He should have more than me. Yeah, I think Palczewski is taking Power's spot. That's what Respect My Co's is saying. Yeah, that's kind of going to be something to pay attention to that I don't think people will be talking about probably until preseason, right? It's like, how do these depth offensive linemen look in comparison to Ben Powers? Because essentially you could cut him this year and you could cut him next year. You might save a little bit more money next year, but you still save a little bit of money this year. If they determine that somebody else is just straight up better, you save money on it. So, yeah, keep an eye on that with Palczewski, Gargiulo, Forsyth. Who else we got out there? Clay Webb, my guy, and Xavier Truss. Would you rather pay Powers or Wattenberg? I'm going with Wattenberg. I'd rather pay him, mainly because I still think that there's more room to grow for him. Ben Powers is a little bit older. So, yeah, I think there's more room to grow for Wattenberg. And we'll see if Wattenberg can kind of have like a Lloyd Cushenberry type, fourth-year breakout type of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, depending on what we see from Forsyth and Clay Webb, again, it would not surprise me if we roll with Clay Webb next year at center, depending on, how things go, how high the Broncos are really on him. But I mean, this guy had like a mid-round grade from a lot of NFL draft people. It just fell because of, the Clay spray stuff. So I think we got real lucky, man. But he could potentially be legitimately a starting caliber player for us. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos move on from both of them, and you probably could get a comp pick for Wattenberg, right? Maybe Powers. We got a comp pick for Cushenberry, didn't we? No, we didn't. We didn't have any comp picks last year. But that would be nice to get a comp pick for one of them. So, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's 9 o'clock Central. I'm in Central time zone right now. But y'all have a wonderful day. Please be sure. Check out my friends. We're talking about who are my friends? MHRT Network, Cameron Parker, Marquee Sports. We got Kodiak Broncos podcast. We got my friends at Let's Talk Broncos. I know I'm forgetting other people. Please forgive me. But go support my friends. Be sure. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments. I'm going to 3K before the season starts. Dennis, thank you for being my friend. Thank you, all of Bronco Land. Go Broncos.